offer ends October 23rd. Visit them at 33rd and Pioneers to learn more on how you can fall for savings at Bonzall Pool and Spa.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bearschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Bearschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha.
Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness specialize in getting rid of people's pain quickly and permanently. For 31 years, they've been extremely successful with advanced techniques in pain relief using spinal adjustments and decompression, detoxification, diet and lifestyle modification, and more. They are fully equipped to handle the most seasonal athlete, weekend warrior, car accidents, strains, sprains, and more. Is there anywhere you're experiencing pain on your body, or are you fighting decreased energy and depression? Consult Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness first at 402-476-8619.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys want a happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. This is the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Rico joining you guys as usual. We'll quickly run through this. Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How's life?
Fantastic.
Good. 402-464-5685. The Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line, both open for you guys the entire show. We told you on Monday that it's going to be a week full of volleyball discussion as Nebraska will host number one Wisconsin this Saturday night. And we're going to kick things off right off the bat, as we'll go ahead and bring in a former Wisconsin Badger herself, as the Badgers have won the last 10 matches against the Huskers in middle blocker and now current Supernova, Danielle Hart. Danielle, appreciate you joining us. I know with the schedule's busy, but it's an exciting week with Nebraska-Wisconsin coming up.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for having me.
So, okay, Danielle, just walk us through this. As somebody that played in her fair share of big-time matches while with the Badgers, right? Yep. Going into a game where, yes, Wisconsin's number one, Nebraska's number two, what are the emotions like ahead of a match like this? Obviously, because I know like Wisconsin has a match on Wednesday, Nebraska, same thing as well. Like there's matches that you have to initially play, but everyone kind of unofficially circles the dates when, these two teams match up and play. What are the emotions and just kind of walk us through what this week would feel like if you're one of these volleyball players?
Well, I'd say for the way Wisconsin runs things, we've always been a team that says, the train keeps moving and we take one game at a time. And so I'm sure it's on their radar because obviously it's coming up in this next week. But I think there's some talk about some things. I think usually we're going over a scouting report of the second team, which would be Nebraska this week. I think they play Ohio State and Nebraska. So going over that, but then really focusing on Ohio State, making sure we're taking care of business there, and then getting back focused on Nebraska. And but no, like you said, I think as a player, it's definitely one of the matches that you're looking forward to of the year. Just the environment, the energy that always exists playing Nebraska, being that they are consistently such a top team, such an elite team. And then also just the fans, the energy that comes in those games is always really exciting for players.
Danielle, we're speaking to a former Wisconsin Badgers middle blocker, Danielle Hart, with us right here on the Happy Hour. And I guess you mentioned how Wisconsin runs things, right? And I think there's a lot of parallels between Nebraska and Wisconsin potentially because they are such high quality volleyball programs. Walk us through what you mean by the way Wisconsin runs things. Talk about the Wisconsin program and Coach Kelly Sheffield.
I just think that, again, we don't want to look ahead to things. We want to be where our feet are. We want to make sure that we're respecting the teammate or the team that is in front of us and giving them our full attention before we move on to the next one. So when there's definitely, you're saying teams definitely are circling certain games on the calendar and whatever. I do think that at least within the Wisconsin program, when it does come up to that date, we are freaking fired up, of course. But it's not necessarily this looking forward to, past the whole month until we play Nebraska or XYZ team. It's very making sure that we are doing everything we can as we play teams leading up to that moment to put ourselves in the best position possible and giving full attention so that when we do get to that moment, we're ready. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. We're speaking with Danielle Hart, a former Wisconsin middle blocker, current Omaha Supernova, and you're playing in Athletes Unlimited right now. So you're all over the map with professional volleyball in the United States right now. But you've played, like Nick said, you've played in your fair share of Nebraska, Wisconsin matches. What would, I guess, what is your favorite memory from any one of those matches? From playing in the Devaney, playing in the Fieldhouse, playing in a national championship game against Nebraska. In those, since 2017 was the last time Nebraska. Your redshirt freshman year, the last time Nebraska beat Wisconsin.
Yeah, we've unfortunately for Nebraska fans, Wisconsin has had Nebraska's number the last several years, which made my career pretty fun, but. The very first time I played Nebraska, we lost at Nebraska, and then we played them again at the Fieldhouse, and I still remember winning that match and just like the thrill of what the energy was in that game. Some of my favorite memories are winning against Nebraska at the Fieldhouse to go on to the Final Four for the first time. I went to the Final Four 3 times. That would have been the first time would have been in 2019, and we played Nebraska in the Elite Eight to go forward. And then again, the national championship, I think playing at Nebraska, I think the first time we played at Nebraska and winning there after having lost the year before, just things like that. There's the list goes on of memories playing at Nebraska. And obviously we've seen them plenty of times in conference, but also plenty of times in the tournament. So really fun times.
Now you played last year in the, at the time, biggest crowd to watch a volleyball match against Florida. And a player on that Florida team, Merritt Beeson, has transferred to Nebraska, and she's, a star for Nebraska right now. Is there anything you can tell us about her when you were scouting her, when you played against her when she was at Florida?
Well, for me, I know players really, really well when I'm playing them, and then once I move on, and I kind of forget what those scouting report details are, like learn it and dump it kind of person. But I do remember when we played them, she really had a great game, and this is a phenomenal player for Florida. And what's funny enough is I think that I know we had a film session later looking back on the game, and we actually focused on her, and it wasn't necessarily, I want to say it wasn't even for like her skill necessarily of like what she was doing skill wise within the game, but her body language and the way she was reacting after an error and like her connection with her teammates, and things like that. And so, I think that's funny that you asked that, and it's funny to reflect on that moment because I kind of forgotten about it until you asked, but.
Another reflecting question, I guess. Over your time at Wisconsin, the Big Ten as a conference is just so talented when it comes to women's volleyball, and there's such great teams and programs from top to bottom. Really, when you're looking at the entire country of volleyball, a lot of the top teams are Big Ten teams in the top 25. What was it like playing in the Big Ten conference, where you're going to face a top 25 team potentially almost every match that you play?
Oh, it's electric. I mean, I think that's where I was saying before. It demands your full attention every match that you're playing, and especially as the years have gone on through my career, these teams that were in the bottom of the Big Ten, they've always been somebody that can come and get you if you're not paying attention. But they're just getting stronger and stronger. You're seeing that with Indiana this year. I think they've had some solid wins. I'm pretty sure they beat Minnesota a week or two ago, and so these teams are getting stronger and it just demands your full attention. That makes for a whole lot more competition and fun. And for a competitor, that's what you're looking for, and it puts you in really good positions for the even bigger matches because you just feel so prepared by the time those matches roll around in the tournament.
We're speaking with Danielle Hart, Wisconsin middle blocker, Omaha Supernova middle blocker. And speaking of the Omaha Supernovas, after you graduated from Wisconsin, after you were done with your volleyball career in college, I know for the longest time that volleyball players would go overseas and play, and there wasn't a lot, if any, options to play in the United States professionally. But now there's Athletes Unlimited. There's the Pro Volleyball Federation that you are a part of. There's the League One Volleyball as well. Did you ever, before this opportunity, have any dreams of playing professional volleyball here in the States as opposed to going overseas?
Yeah, I really had not seen myself playing in the U.S. professionally until right about the time where it came down to making that decision for myself. I thought that I was going to be going overseas to play. And I think how that evolved, I tore my ACL in 2021 and rushed back to finish this season out with Wisconsin last year. And by the end of it, my health was not in a great place, and that made that really scary to try to go overseas and with a lot of unknowns. And I talked to about as many volleyball players that are playing professionally and have been over there for years, and kind of got a better idea for what that's like, and came to the conclusion that I really wasn't comfortable going overseas, specifically with my situation. So it's really worked out so incredibly well for me to have all these opportunities appear this year in particular, as I'm transitioning out of the college game and looking to continue my career. So I'm just extremely grateful and thrilled. I don't know that I would have continued playing if I didn't have these opportunities to stay in the States. So when I see so many girls here that are here at AU or are going on to PVF that also wouldn't be overseas, but they're phenomenal players and they have what it takes to keep playing. It's just, there's a lot of sacrifices in situations overseas that make that really tough.
Can you tell us, what the reception has been? You played for Wisconsin, Nebraska fans, big fans of the Huskers. You would think not very receptive, but I feel like a lot of the fans of the Supernovas have been very welcoming to you and Sydney and a lot of the other players who aren't former Huskers and just love the sport of volleyball. So can you speak on, playing for Wisconsin and then coming to Nebraska to play for an Omaha-based team?
Oh, I agree. I think that people have been really receptive, and it doesn't really surprise me when I think of Nebraska fans. I just know they're huge volleyball fans too. And so at the end of the day, even when Nebraska wasn't in the Final Four some of those years, their fans are still coming to these matches and just wanting to watch really great volleyball. And so it doesn't surprise me when we're pulling in the caliber of players that we are to Omaha, which is super, super exciting. And obviously just to be a part of that fandom is really special.
All right. So Danielle, a couple more before we go ahead and let you go. We're speaking to a former Wisconsin Badger middle blocker, now current Omaha Supernova middle blocker, also plays for Athletes Unlimited ahead of the #1 Wisconsin Badgers coming to Lincoln on Saturday night. When you look at this current Supernovas team, you have a Husker in there in Gina Mancuso, but also a former teammate of yours in Sydney Hilly. Just talk about the dynamic and just this Supernovas team, I guess, ahead of the season that there's a lot of excitement for, I think.
Yeah, I think I've gotten to know several of the girls are here at AU, and so I've been getting to play with them or getting to know them just in this space. And I think there's a range, obviously, of younger players to like some legends like Tori Dixon, and just it really crosses this whole broad band of experience. And I think that there's also just a whole broad band of just different things that we've all done and within our careers, whether that's collegiately or professionally. And it's really exciting to see what we can make of it.
So Danielle, I know, I have been asking you a lot of questions about Nebraska. One more is Volleyball Day in Nebraska. I know that you probably watched that. What did that match, that environment do for the growth of volleyball? Because we've seen volleyball just growing steadily each and every year. They're adding professional leagues for volleyball, and then Nebraska goes and plays a volleyball match in a football stadium and sells it out. Like, what did that do for the growth of not only, I guess, volleyball, but women's sports in general?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, there's nothing more that you love to see than when we broke the record last year and then Nebraska comes back and says, oh yeah, we're going to take this record and you're not going to take it back and, fill the football stadium. And we love that. Like that, to grow women's sports. That's not just women's volleyball, that's women's sports. And the impact that has will just continue to go forward for years to come. I think you're seeing this year, not only with that game, but just all kinds of games across the Big Ten right now. You're seeing student sections break records. You're seeing viewership numbers break records. You're seeing program attendance records. Everything's just getting smashed. And it's so exciting to see. And I could feel that as my career went on through Wisconsin. And I think this game is just going to continue to elevate, and especially once it continues to pick up the marketing and the ESPN channels and these TV channels that are just really seeing the value in it and the viewership. And I think it's one of those games that people can easily pop on and understand and feel the energy behind and get hooked.
All right, Danielle, last one for you. You obviously spent a lot of time as a Wisconsin Badger, but now you're about to be living in the Cornhusker State. What happens on Saturday?
I wish I could say that I have seen more matches, but I really haven't gotten to watch much volleyball this fall because I've been playing it myself and traveling a lot myself. I feel like for the first part of the season, I was flying almost every time games were on. But I can tell you that it will absolutely be a matchup, and that I'm sure both teams are fired up for it and looking forward to it and going to give everything they have. I'm sure that the energy will be electric, and it'll be fun to see.
Now, Danielle, I know we've asked you a lot of volleyball questions. This is truly the last one before we get you out, but I was informed that you're a bit of an artist as well. And I'll give you a quick little plug for Hart Art, your coastal inspired ocean resin art. I saw the Instagram page. All of that stuff looks amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. So obviously I play professionally, and then on the side, when I get the time, I try to pick up the ocean epoxy resin art, and I also do some wedding videography from here and there. But it was really cool. Last Christmas, I noticed ESPN had plugged Hart Art on one of our matches, and I had a lot of orders from Nebraska. So again, I think Nebraska fans are super big supporters of just volleyball and volleyball world, and so I thought that was really cool to see.
All right, well, there she is, Danielle Hart, former Wisconsin Badger, current Supernova. Danielle, we appreciate you taking the 20 minutes or so, hanging out with us and talking with us all things volleyball. Good luck on the season, the rest of the way with Athletes Unlimited, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me.
There she is, Danielle Hart, former Wisconsin Badger, just ahead of the Nebraska-Wisconsin game, or match, I should say, on Saturday. It made me feel better when I say it was a volleyball game because they call them games.
Well, like
she called it game multiple times.
So sets,
yes.
Like some people call them sets. John Cook calls them games.
Yeah.
So there's so many different things to say with it that I don't know if you're technically wrong in calling it that.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go ahead and take our break. When we come back, we'll dive into a little bit of football. Recap Monday Night Football. Waterboy has a debate for us.
Perfect.
So we'll dive into that a little bit. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline. The Starter Heyman text line are both open for you guys the entire show today. Well, I guess while we have a few minutes left in this segment, we can go ahead and plug this. This Thursday and Friday, we got high school football. Once again, it's the final week of the regular season. Thursday, it's Millard North versus Lincoln Southwest. That's a 7 p.m. kickoff. Both teams there have losing records, unfortunately, but fighting for a playoff spot here in the Class A postseason that starts next Friday. But then this Friday on the 20th, it's a top 10 matchup between Gretna and Lincoln East. Lincoln East, the highest rated capital city squad. That's again, once a 7 p.m. kickoff, 6:45 pregame. Lincoln East is 8th in Class A. Gretna is 9th in Class A. So two teams that will be playing in the postseason. But once again, you can listen to Jay Foreman and myself from Seacrest Field, FM dial, the mobile app, the ticketfm.com, and on the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream. And so we'll have all of your postseason coverage as well for high school football playoffs here on the ticket. We'll call the good chunk of state title games as well from Memorial Stadium here coming up in a little over a month or so. So it's going to be an exciting couple of weeks here on the high school football landscape. So 464-5685, the phone number for you guys to call and text. Don't go anywhere. We'll continue on with the happy hour coming up next on 93.7 The Ticket.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is special on many levels, from the delicious Well and Good restaurant on the main floor to the coolest rooftop patio bar in Lincoln, the Barred Owl, on the top floor of the hotel with great views of the city and one of the coolest drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
It's time to close out the 2023 high school football regular season right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Hey guys, it's Nick Sainert. Join me and the Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman this Thursday and Friday for a doubleheader in the final week of the regular season. First up on Thursday, it's a matchup of 2 3-5 overall teams as they fight for the final playoff spot. Miller North travels to Lincoln to face off against the Silverhawks of Lincoln Southwest. And then on Friday, it's a top 10 clash between Gretna and the Lincoln East Spartans. All that and more coming your way this Thursday and Friday for high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
So, yeah, that sounded like Heinrich's the guy. I think he said again, Heinrich's got to improve his conditioning, which is one of the most confounding things I've heard. He looks like a decathlete. I mean, he's not a dumpy quarterback.
Oh, he runs
he's one
fast.
of the best looking athletes on the campus.
Look at the run he had for the touchdown in that game. He looked pretty fast.
Look at
in
the
that
dude.
one.
How could his conditioning be bad?
What is this about?
It might be about that they asked him to do about everything.
He's carrying it 20 times a game.
Right.
He's a quarterback.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
The dangers of secondhand smoke are well known. But what about secondhand aerosol, which is created when using e-cigarettes? Science already shows a secondhand aerosol can contain nicotine, heavy metals, and cancer-causing agents. Eliminating exposure to secondhand aerosol is an important step to keeping everyone safe. Breathe easier knowing the facts.
For help quitting, call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Kreekak, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Bud Seinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
I vomited last night.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
I literally vomited. I threw up.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary with you. Thanks again to former Wisconsin volleyball player Danielle Hart for joining us in the last segment. If you missed any of that, it'll be up on the podcast page here momentarily, theticketfm.com, for all of the podcasts. Excuse me, I had to shout out the Delco Daves again. Yep. We had the Philly cheesesteaks yesterday, you know?
So good.
Well, he brought birch beer again. Root beer, right?
He did. And you love it.
I, as a root beer connoisseur, I love this birch beer. And so I have to be careful not to have all of it in one drink. And so I have to leave it outside the studio, obviously, because I don't want to accidentally spill it on equipment. Number one,
you'll down it.
Number two, I don't want it to be gone in like 10 seconds. And so the birch beer is just sitting out there tormenting me during the segments, and it is delicious. Head over to Delco Dave's, grab yourself some Phillies and birch beer as well. It's delicious.
So good.
So
good.
Okay, so during the break, I found this tweet.
Nick found a thing, and we're invested.
It's incredible. So Bill Connolly of ESPN, and we'll get to Northwestern Nebraska here in a second. Bill Connolly of ESPN tweeted out Week 8 college football rankings, FBS schools through Division III schools.
FBS, FCS, D2, D3. 4 divisions of football.
Yes. The worst team in the entire country out of all schools,
all of them,
at every level, is Fitchburg State. They come in at 665th in the polls. The number one team in this poll is Michigan.
You know, it'd be super weird if like top 10 had like a D2 school or something.
So here's the deal, though.
There isn't, by the way.
On the tweet as well, Bill Connolly, they projected the spread for number 1 Michigan going up against number 665 Fitchburg State. And obviously, for safety reasons, this game would never be played. The spread would be Michigan by 156.
I'd take Fitchburg to cover.
I don't know, man.
I'd take Fitchburg to cover.
Would you take Fitchburg to cover 156 against Michigan?
I think I would. Again, this is not
picks.
financial advice.
This is not. No. And this game will not be played. But in a football game,
I don't want it to.
In a football game, Fitchburg 156 point dogs to Michigan.
Good golly, Miss Molly.
Fitchburg, by the way, in Massachusetts.
There you go.
But
In case you were wondering.
looking at some other schools, more seriously, South Dakota State comes in as the number 29 team in all of college football.
Mm-hmm.
Number 29, and that's in the middle of FBS schools.
Yeah.
That's ahead of programs like UCF, like Nebraska, like Iowa, South Carolina, Kansas, Oklahoma State.
I would take South Dakota State to beat all of those schools you just mentioned.
Nebraska?
Yeah, I would take South Dakota State to beat
Wow.
Nebraska.
Wow, that's disappointing.
They're good.
The second highest AA, so Division I AA school, is Montana State at 66th.
Okay.
North Dakota State comes in at 72nd.
Normally they'd be all the way up there.
They would be. Holy Cross is 84th. And that is, how about this? The 100th best team in the country, Indiana.
Wow.
Northwestern, 99. Nebraska sits at 54th.
That seems high.
Yeah, maybe.
That seems high.
I feel like they're a 500 ball club.
That seems high.
Jacksonville State, who
They're
plays
part
tonight.
of this. What were they at?
Who?
Nebraska?
54th.
Okay, they're almost in the second version of the top 25.
That's right. Under unnamed texture says, I'm assuming the over-under is 156th as well.
More than likely.
157-0. Michigan beats. How many touchdowns?
Over-unders 158.5.
That would be scoring 22 touchdowns. Michigan needs
they're letting up at some point.
Michigan needs to. Well, here's the deal. I mean, let's think about it this way. Against Nebraska, where they had, I don't know, their starters out by the third quarter.
Yeah.
They would probably not play their starters at the start of the second.
Their starters would play the first 5 drives and then be done because they would probably score on all 5 drives.
I have gotten a text from one of my buddies asking where Nebraska Westland is. I don't think they have the NAIA.
No, just do D3. Just through D3.
Just through D3.
Yeah. Nebraska Kearney's in there.
Oh, no, excuse me. Because Westland's now D3.
Are they?
So I forgot about that.
Oh.
Nebraska Westland football comes in at 569th.
Hey.
569th best team in the entire country. UNK sits at, where was it? It was like 3 something. 359, I thought. Nope, maybe not. Nope, not. Nebraska Kearney comes in at 383rd.
Last year's UNK squad would have been in the top 200.
Probably.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
So
it's all good.
It's fun.
Shout out to what is it? D3 North Central?
North Central in Iowa.
Yeah.
That's right.
No, Illinois.
Thank you.
So I decided to look up who their head coach was.
North Central is the highest rated D3 school.
Yes.
At 222nd in the country.
Pretty high.
For a D3 school, absolutely it is.
So Brad Spencer, I'm just going to give him a quick shout out.
Shout out to Brad Spencer.
Because he played at North Central. He graduated in 04.
Okay.
Immediately went into coaching at North Central. He was the wide receiver coach from 04 to 2019.
The alma mater.
The OC from 2015 to 2021, right?
Mm-hmm.
They won the national championship in 2022. Yeah, 2022 when they posted their first undefeated season.
Mm-hmm.
He was the head coach in 2022.
There he is.
They are currently undefeated and have scored under 50 points once, which was their first game where they won 41-7.
That's incredible.
I think Brad Spencer's going to win back-to-back national titles and be undefeated back-to-back years.
We've gotten a lot
in his first 2 years as a head coach.
We've gotten a lot at on the text line 402-464-5685. But once again, so just a really funny thing, little there, just to mention. All right, let's talk Nebraska football against Northwestern, right? 2:30 kickoff this Saturday. It was announced David Braun spoke earlier today that Northwestern may be without their quarterback in Ben Bryant. And so that would then mean that their backup obviously has to start for Northwestern, who ended up starting for Howard or against Howard last weekend.
Started for Howard. That's
but
impressive.
did not and this is according to the Northwestern folks, did not inspire a lot of confidence in his ability to play quarterback at Northwestern. And so, unfortunately, if you're a Wildcats fan, it appears as if Ben Bryant may not go on Saturday. So I ask you and ask 402-464-5685, does that move the needle for you?
I mean,
because we had the conversation this morning of how comfortable do you feel going into this?
Comfortable. Okay.
And for oddly enough, I feel pretty confident in Nebraska's ability to win on Saturday.
Well, even before this was announced, I felt confident in Nebraska. I wouldn't say comfortable, but I felt confident in Nebraska going into this game and being able to, walk away with a win. I don't know about run away with a win, but walk away with a win. But now with the backup and hearing from the Northwestern folks, I saw somebody posted that there is actually a large gap between Ben Bryant and their backup.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to say comfortable because weird things happen to Nebraska against Northwestern. So, but I'm feeling a lot more confident if this ends up being true and Ben Bryant can't go, Northwestern has to start their backup, that Nebraska, especially with the defense that they've been playing against a Northwestern squad that's better than we thought they were going to be, having won 3 games already, but still not great. I am pretty confident in Nebraska being able to take this one and, maybe being able to take it comfortably.
So here's Brendan Sullivan, his season statistics. He's completed 67% of his passes. This is basically through one game, I suppose. And I guess initially, as I was reading the articles out from Evanston, it was one of those things where they felt like Ben Bryant, it was going to take just one week, that he just needed one game off and he was going to be ready to go. That tune has changed with David Braun, the interim head coach for the Northwestern Wildcats. And so they said they're going to obviously monitor as it progresses on and they'll hope that Ben Bryant can go. But right now, Brendan Sullivan looks to be the guy that they're possibly going to lean on to. He's a 6'3", 225-pound quarterback, junior. This season, 192 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 INT for Brendan Sullivan. Coming out of high school, he was rated the 55th best quarterback in the 2021 class. And so he's been at Northwestern for a few years now, rated a 3-star out of Davison, Michigan. And so once again, like Brendan Sullivan, I'm not sure Northwestern is, although they beat Minnesota, not a good football team. They're not. And so Bill Bush said it earlier this week, like if Northwestern does the things that they've been doing all year long, they allow the opponent to run the ball pretty effectively. Once again, we find ourselves sitting here going, Nebraska, this matches up really well for you on offense. Whether that's more than likely Heinrich Harburg running the ball, but even if we do get a glimpse of Anthony Grant, or whether we get a glimpse of Josh Fleeks or Emmett Johnson or Quentin Ives or whoever they put back there, whoever it may be, this now falls on Nebraska to do their job.
And I was listening earlier, I think it was yesterday, that DP and Jay were talking about Howard going against Northwestern, and DP was saying that Howard's quarterback, if he wanted to, had plenty of room to take off at any point during that game and gain a ton of yards. So if Nebraska is looking at that game tape, I mean, Northwestern's looking at that as well and seeing what Nebraska does well and is going to try to correct those things. But if there's even a sliver of room, I mean, you're going to see Heinrich Harburg take off and gain some yards. I mean, the running game for Nebraska, this, like you just said, is a perfect matchup. Northwestern's offense is better than Iowa's, but still not great. So Nebraska's defense should be able to, again, take care of business. You've got your leader in the middle back and Luke Reimer coming back from, was it MRSA?
Yeah, he had MRSA in his arm, which is really
That is
odd.
terrifying.
Yeah.
That is terrifying. So with him coming back, you're still out Deshaun Singleton, but especially having that leader in the middle, this defense should continue to roll right along. So, yeah. I mean, again, not comfortable, but confident in Nebraska.
Yeah, and we've heard from Matt Rule earlier this week. We heard from Tony White, Marcus Satterfield earlier today as well. They're happy. Marcus Satterfield, just a quick highlight from his his conversation. They're pleased with how Jeff Sims is responding to this whole thing. Like that's an angle to this entire situation that's can definitely be discussed, as where Jeff Sims, listen, he gets brought in. He was no doubt the starter going into the year, right? There was not even a question of whether or not Jeff Sims was going to be the guy under center for Nebraska against Minnesota. You can say that there maybe was a quarterback competition in the offseason and fall camp. There really didn't feel like it.
We were wondering who's going to be number 2.
Well, yeah, the way that, because there was more of a competition between Chubba Purdy and Heinrich Harburg for that number 2 spot. And the way that you heard Matt Rule and this offensive staff specifically talk about Jeff Sims, you knew that, all right, back when they brought him in last December, they brought him in to be the starting quarterback.
This
right?
was their dude, hands down.
And so undergoing everything that Jeff Sims has gone through, now, unfortunately, getting hurt against Colorado, then being unable to play for the next couple of weeks, and ultimately being put at number 2 on the depth chart, and Heinrich Harburg officially announced as a starter earlier this week, there's a lot of things that Jeff Sims could do. And thankfully, and rightfully so, when you talk about what's good for the program and good for the team, Jeff Sims has been able to stay in that leadership role, and been able to, as Marcus Satterfield said today, coach guys on in that quarterback room when it's not his turn to get reps. And so once again, you kind of can point that out as a positive in that quarterback room. And frankly, like, I would be interested to see where Husker fans lay on the idea of how confident do you feel in Nebraska's backup quarterback room now? Like, where are you at? Like, you have the guy who started the season as a starter now is number 2.
Backup.
And I remember I said this at the beginning of the year, man, Nebraska fans are just hoping and praying Jeff Sims doesn't get hurt. And now it looks weird because we're sitting here going, oh no, Heinrich Harburg, please don't get hurt. Because number one, that'd be another piece of the offense that's down and out. But also, where do we lie on Jeff Sims here? And I'm not sure if there's a real, it's just a kind of a crazy situation that we've encountered now as Husker fans.
Strange situation where you went from not wanting obviously you never want anybody to get hurt, but worrying about your backup quarterback situation because you weren't sure what you had as a backup, to now, I wouldn't say worrying, but a little concerned with your backup quarterback situation because your former starter is your backup and has had turnover issues. It's a very strange situation that I don't know if I've ever heard of, where you go from starter to backup, and the fan base, at least some parts of the fan base, are hesitant to put the day one starter back in because the backup has played so well, or at least well enough up to this point.
Well enough to get the starting job.
Well enough to keep it and to get wins.
And you think about the evolution of like Heinrich Harburg and how people viewed him in recent years and months. And then even just this season, it was, why were we saying, oh no, Jeff Sims, please don't get hurt. Why? Because there wasn't a whole lot of faith in the backup room. Right. And then you get to the Northern Illinois games, and it's okay. Heinrich Harburg, he can force them to have a conversation. And then it's okay. Heinrich Harburg, next game, when you keep on stacking games, you can force them to have a competition or once again, just further conversations.
It went from,
and ultimately enough, he's done enough to where they feel like he's QB1.
It went from where you needed Heinrich Harburg to just be serviceable enough to get you a win against, was it Northern Illinois first? Yeah, against Northern Illinois.
It was Northern Illinois and Louisiana Tech.
To then, if you continue the play, you'll win against Louisiana Tech. To then, okay, you face 2 group of 5 teams. Let's see if you can do it against a Power 5 team, or whenever, or no, because then it was Michigan. So then it was just like, okay, we'll just keep him going until Sims is ready to come back against Illinois. And then it was, okay, let's continue and see what he has to do. If he struggles, you can throw Sims back. And it's just continued to be like, okay, well, just keep going. And if something happens, we have the starter on retainer. We have the starter on backup. And Sims has just been lockstep with the coaches in helping Heinrich and helping the other quarterbacks and just being a ray of sunshine, honestly, on the sideline. He's the first person to greet Harburg after he scores his touchdowns. He's super excited for him. He is. He's always smiling. He's super excited. What? He is.
Just not the analogy I was going to. I would have expected you to use.
He is a ray of sunshine in that quarterback room because even after losing his starting job, he's not moping and pouting and saying, "Woe is me!
Yes, you're right.
I should get this job. I should be the starter. I was the guy. I need this job back." Blah blah blah. All this stuff. He's on the sideline. He's congratulating. He's welcoming. He's helping him. He's, they're going through whatever the tablets, they're on the headsets, on the phones, whatever, talking to each other, letting him know, what did you see here? I saw this. They're going back and forth with each other, and he's trying to help Heinrich to keep the starting job.
I would say this also, just last thing before we go to break. Like, if he does have that feeling of I should be the starter, go win it. Go win the job. Like, just that is one thing that neither one of these guys, whether Jeff Sims ever would have gotten hurt or if they would not have, go win it. Heinrich Harburg, same thing. If Jeff Sims wouldn't have gotten hurt, go take the job from Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
And now vice versa, because Nebraska doesn't have a quarterback that's been far and away that much better this season and that much more, I don't know if impactful, probably just like overall mind-blowing stats and performances to where we sit here ahead of week 7 or week 8 going, there's no way that the quarterback 2 can ever take the job from QB1 again.
Like the fact that if Heinrich throws 2 picks, fumbles the ball, people are going to be calling for Sims to get back in the game.
Mm-hmm.
More than likely. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's how like there's still like a slight smidge of a quarterback competition controversy, because it's not somebody where it's like, yeah, this guy's the clear-cut starter.
Yeah.
And even if he struggles, he'll be in the next game. He'll do this. It's right now. He's done enough.
Yeah.
He's been really good so far. He's 3-1 as a starter. Sims was 0-2 for Nebraska, but if he struggles, and it's for both of them, if whoever starts struggles, the other one's going to get in.
Well, and Pooh Bear says this on the text line. I think Sims is still the superior quarterback. And that's where, once again, I struggle with this just inner curiosity going, man, I would have liked to see more of Jeff Sims. I don't like 2 games in a Nebraska uniform is such a small sample size.
It's not enough.
Through everything we were told and everything that we had heard through the offseason, right? And think about those words I just said, told and heard in the offseason. 2 games is a real small sample size, unfortunately. And so just to cast Jeff Sims off, I think is unfair. But at the end of the day, Heinrich Harburg has won 3 of his 4 games. And the 4th one, yes, you can chalk it up, I think, partially to just Michigan being a number 2 team in the country. I think there were a lot of issues that game that went even farther and deeper than just Heinrich Harburg. I think Nebraska had a program issue that day.
Yeah, that
to where no team, and Jay said this on the post game, no team in all of college football should be 45 points better than you. And Nebraska allowed them to be, because basically without the Josh Fleeks 1 carry, 74-yard touchdown run, Michigan wins that game 45-0, and you get shut out for the first time in quite a while at Nebraska. So let's go ahead and take our final timeout. When we come back, we'll bring in Strick and Austin for the crossover coming up next on the Happy Hour.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Problem gambling is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Plungers and store-bought chemicals can only go so far and can harm your drains. Call the professionals at John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical to get your drains flowing. We won't only make sure the clog is taken care of, but we will ensure your drains are completely clean so the clog will not come back. Give John Henry's a call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air,
and Electrical.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today.
I'm ready.
Burgers?
Check.
Chips?
Check.
Icy cold beer?
Check. Except this one.
I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it.
Rico,
relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today. Found in most local grocery stores.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
Fall for savings at Bonsall Pool and Spa. Beginning October 13th, customers can take advantage of great cash and financing options on hot spring spas. Get up to $1,000 off a new High Life Collection spa or $500 off a new Limelight Collection spa when you pay in full, or get 0% APR for 60 months when you finance. This amazing offer ends October 23rd. Visit them at 33rd and Pioneers to learn more on how you can fall for savings at Bonsall Pool and Spa.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Kreekak, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
Even before you start. That was a preemptive
and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
I already had someone created in my image. He's evil, he wants to take over the world, and he fits easily into most overhead storage bins.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. So Waterboy thought we were going to just skip up on him. We weren't going to skip you, Waterboy. Don't you worry.
Goodbye, Waterboy.
402-464-5685. Honda of Lincoln Hotline, the Sutter Heyman text line. We got asked this question. Waterboy says, guys, I'm having a hot topic. I'm debating with my friends, and I'd like your take. Justin Herbert or Jalen Hurts as your franchise quarterback? I already know Rico's, just snap reaction is going to be Jalen Hurts.
Hulu West Life Sports?
Yeah. He's going to, at some point on this segment, Rico is going to talk about how overrated Justin Herbert is.
I mean, he is.
And I would agree to a certain degree. Thoughts? Herbert, Hurts.
Stricky take.
Franchise QB.
Stricky, like yeah, okay, you need time to think? I can go.
I'm going to say I think Justin I think Justin Herbert's a solid quarterback, but is he the one that's going to take you to the promised land? I just don't see him as that type of guy yet. I love the growth of Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I just think his poise, his escapability, his footwork, his use of his feet, understanding how to get down, understanding when to throw, understanding the right types of plays to make. I mean, sometimes he makes a bad decision and he may, throw one, but that's not very often. So I think he uses his weapon. He has the ability to drop passes in there. I think he has more upside to me at this point than Justin Herbert.
Herbert's getting paid about $7.5 million more over the course of 5 years. Not necessarily. I mean, that's all it is.
It's $1.5 million a year.
Yeah,
it's just because he got his deal later.
Yes, exactly. And so, I am leaning towards Jalen Hurts because we've seen it from Jalen Hurts.
Smart lean.
Give me Herbert. I think there's a lot of similarities between Herbert and Trevor Lawrence.
Okay,
in a lot of ways. Don't get me wrong.
So you're saying they don't
Hurts.
have weapons? Is that? You're saying?
I'll get there.
Oh, okay.
I'll get there. I like what Hurts did. I think he got in the perfect system for him. I think Shane Steichen used him really well last year. And having seen it, taking him to a Super Bowl appearance, yes, you have. Statistically, let's not pretend like Herbert's far behind. Not doing as much with his legs.
Right. Yep.
Yes, he does throw your back-breaking fourth quarter interception. That's definitely a knock against him.
Last night.
Well, yeah, it's like the fifth time, I think, in a one-score game in his career already in the fourth quarter, he's thrown an interception, which is no good. The arm's there. The processing is there. And let's look at that Chargers organization, too. Who is Justin Herbert, if not Phillip Rivers? He's new age Phillip Rivers, maybe slightly more mobile.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers took the Chargers to the playoffs year in, year out. Took him to an AFC championship game on a busted ACL. Had the best team in football on offense, second best team in football on defense, was let down by their number 31 special teams team. The Chargers are cursed. That's partly playing into Justin Herbert and I think our perception of him. I think he's really good. Yes, Hurts did it. He took the Eagles to the Super Bowl. He's really good. I'm not mad if you give me either one of those guys as my franchise quarterback. I just think Herbert's got a little bit of a knock against him because his organization is cursed.
So you're saying a role reversal, you would see a different, pretty much numbers, same results.
If Jalen Hurts is in San Diego, he's Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, shoot.
By no fault of his own.
There is no San Diego.
Interesting.
If he's with the Chargers. Yeah, my bad.
Go ahead, Rico.
What?
Why is Justin Herbert overrated?
Well, he is. He hasn't won a playoff game. I agree with the comparison to Phillip Rivers, but at least Phillip Rivers could win in the playoffs. He, couldn't get all the way. But both quarterbacks, extremely talented teams, year in and year out. Yes, the Chargers are probably cursed. They deal with countless injuries before the season starts.
And countless Brandon Staleyings.
To a lot of their star players.
That's a big
but
part of it.
Look, you have weapons upon weapons. And statistically, you're one of the best quarterbacks year in and year out. So he puts up numbers like it's nobody's business. But when it gets down to it, when it gets down to the nitty gritty and you need a win, Justin Herbert has not been able to deliver that for
Kirk
you.
Cousins.
But it's different. It's different too, though.
Cousins.
Look at their division. Justin Herbert's going up against Patrick Mahomes. Jalen Hurts has the best team in his division.
That's true, because remember we had just the conversation about a year ago of the arm. Well, it was actually the Russell Wilson trade, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was the arms race, and I actually, probably stupid looking back on it. I called Justin Herbert the 4th best quarterback in that division when Derek Carr was at the Raiders. That's why I
saw where you're coming from.
I've also been higher on Derek Carr when he was with the Raiders than a lot of people were.
Look, Derek Carr before he broke his leg was going to win MVP.
There was certainly a chance. And I just felt like they didn't give Josh Jacobs. They still aren't, even when Jimmy G was healthy. They didn't give Josh Jacobs the ball enough.
Not nearly enough.
Josh Jacobs is probably a top 8 running back in the league.
He led the league in rushing last year.
Yeah, he did.
But he led the league in rushing, but he didn't get the ball.
It just feels like he's not involved. Like, it doesn't feel like we hear, and maybe it's
especially in the big moments.
Yeah, and like there was when the Raiders were on primetime a couple weeks ago, like there was a 3rd and 1, and you're not giving the ball to Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's just like you have these guys. Same thing with the other night on the goal line to go play after the penalty with the Giants. Is at the end of the day, Tyrod Taylor, yes, you traded for Darren Waller in the offseason. I get that. But you're going to put the ball in the hands of Tyrod Taylor instead of Saquon Barkley. Part of it maybe because your offensive line is atrocious.
That is true.
Maybe there should have been a penalty on the second one. That's fine. But you did not. You're putting the ball in the hands of the guy who didn't realize that they were out of timeouts at halftime. Like, if you watch that last play at the end of the second quarter, Tyrod Taylor looks over the sideline like he expected them to call a timeout, and he didn't. There was none left, and there was no way that was the design play call. That's the worst play call.
Well, they said,
because then Dable looks at the offense coordinator and is like, "What are we doing?"
They said that they called a pass play, but
He
Tyrod
checked out of it
to a run and thought they had a timeout.
There's no way, because then you see Tyrod like stutter step. And like, oh no, we got to rush back up to the line. Well, at that point, there's 6 seconds on the clock,
and that's a veteran quarterback who's shown that he can do these things.
Yeah.
He knows how to lead a team in those moments. It was just a lapse in judgment by him. But
I have a question though, if I can.
Go ahead.
How far does San Francisco fall with Debo, only Ayuk, and now Christian McCaffrey down? Because Brock Purdy didn't look Brock Purdy-ish.
Who are their wide receivers?
Was it because of the defense? Is it because of the pressure of the defense?
The Browns are really good defensively.
Yeah.
I don't
scared as that dude.
Oddly enough, like, I don't think the 49ers fall that far.
To me, the question is who passes them. Do you trust Seattle? Not right now. Do you trust the Rams? I still think they're a little old. And the Cardinals are doo-doo brown. So, no, they won't go 13-4 if those guys stay out, but they'll still win the NFC West.
My guy.
Yeah, they'll win the NFC West. What about the conference?
Conference is up for grabs.
Darn right it is. Shout out to the Lions.
Shout out to the Lions.
5-1, boys.
Shout out to
Just
the
go
Lions.
get Patrick
Get in
Surtain.
line.
Call it good.
Get Patrick Surtain. Well, CJ Gardner-Johnson is planning to be back by the playoffs. People forget that they signed him in the offseason, and then he got hurt, I believe, in that first game against the Chiefs on Thursday Night Football, and he was out for the regular season. Well, he's going to be back for the playoffs. Lions are probably going to run away with their NFC North. Like, everybody.
The NFC North is also doo-doo brown.
You want to talk about Vikings, Packers, and Bears.
Who saw this Vikings collapse coming? Nobody.
Yeah.
You saw it coming?
Yes, and we're going to talk about that at 3:30 today, and I have rationale.
Oh,
okay.
Stay tuned.
Okay, stay tuned for 3:30. Let's go ahead and play the music then.
Wow.
Okay.
Aggressive.
Hey.
Baby,
lack of sleep has gotten him.
Hey, my bad.
Lack of sleep has gotten him.
Somebody saw it coming.
Yeah. All right. We saw.
Wow, I'm in trouble on the show today.
By the way,
Strick.
a little bit of news out of the NFL. We want to talk about Jalen Hurts.
I want to talk about my record.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts. Julio Jones just signed a year deal with the Eagles.
Oh, trouble. Close your mouth. Don't say nothing.
Stricky, you went 5-5.
Oh, I like
That's
it.
not too bad.
I like it.
You're sitting at 22-23 this season. You lost the USC game.
You
Same.
lost the Wisconsin game and you lost the Hawaii game.
Freaking Wisconsin.
We all lost the Bills.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And you lost the Seattle Bengals game.
Damn it.
Seattle and Bengal.
Tragic.
Seahawks and Bengals. All right, we're out of here. On the block coming up next. See ya.
Adios.
If your car has sent you to the sidelines, Eustace Body Shop can help. With gold-class certified technicians, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustace Body Shop is your best choice this Husker season. And with 6 locations across central and eastern Nebraska, we've got you covered, whether you're rooting at home or you're headed to Memorial Stadium. Get a free online quote at EustaceBodyShop.com, and let's get you back in the game.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by at 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Go to gelandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. But there are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check.